Hi, I'm Angie Claudio. I'm the director of Azusa Pacific University's One Stop Office, where we serve about 5,500 undergraduate students and their families in the areas of registration, student accounts, and financial aid. Regarding my insights and assumptions about organizational life, when I first started working at AP almost 5 years ago, I was actually brought in to launch this brand new department of One Stop. Though I didn't have the benefit or the challenge, I should say, of actually breaking apart the infrastructure that was being transitioned to this new model. I did have to help close to 50 staff members, not to mention our over 5,000 students, buy into this new model. We had the benefit of a third-party practitioner assisting us with the transition, and I think he handled it superbly, in my opinion. Rarely did he make any direct recommendations, but rather he helped us kind of see our needs and utilize our resources to achieve desired outcomes. He did say that the process of transformational change would take 3 to 5 years, and I think he was spot on. It actually, to me, it was probably about year 4 that our teams kind of finally settled into their roles. I mean, many people had been doing their work at APU for 15 to 20 years, and then we had these big changes come merging 3 different departments, and so that was a big challenge. But anyway, it's just in time for me to actually now want to make more changes to our department, so I'm sure my staff will love that. But as far as the assumptions and values of organizational development and how they align with my faith, I think for the most part, I do feel that the concepts of organizational development align with Christian perspectives, but within reason. One example is the premise of the quest for happiness. I truly do believe that God wants us to be happy, but I think that sometimes Christians forget that He doesn't promise us happiness in the sense that life's going to have its challenges. One of the verses that kind of prepares us for that is in James 1:2-3. It says, "My brothers and sisters, consider it nothing but joy when you fall into all sorts of trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces endurance." And so I think that God does want us to know that we're going to have challenges and we're going to have struggles, but that doesn't mean that we can't have happiness in that as well. And that we should always be pursuing happiness. I think that is appropriate in many cases. As far as the organizational development concepts of authenticity and honesty, I do think these are great in theory. I have seen this value in action, especially in the Christian environment, where I feel that many times either steps are missed, such as the personal confrontation component. Sometimes things happen and it's not thoughtful, and it might be abrupt or in meetings or something like that. So I think confronting somebody personally or one-on-one first is important. And then also, oddly, I think that very little grace is given even after seeming restitution is made. Galatians 6:1 talks about confronting transgressions, but then restoring people in a spirit of gentleness. And oddly, I have seen better conflict resolution, I think, in secular environments. And part of that, I think, is because people aren't taking it as personally, perhaps. And so I do find that kind of an interesting conundrum that in a Christian workplace, I've seen a more difficult time of people exercising grace in work-related matters. Regarding one item that I seek personal growth and development in, I would probably say that even one of the greater challenges that I saw through the one-stop transition was how deeply people equated being heard to employing all of their requests, yet feeling like things were being done to them instead of for them or with them, I guess. So kind of to put another challenge around that is through our process, we were trying to get buy-in from people and have their feedback heard, but if their idea didn't get implemented, it was like a personal affront. And so I found that to be very challenging. And so for my direct reports, I really tried to remedy this by employing a strengths-based approach to managing them and their work, and I found that when I could align their strengths with the work they did, there seemed to be a greater satisfaction overall. I was also very honest about any limitations or lack of resources that might prohibit us from employing what were seemingly great ideas. We just couldn't do them. And so So that wasn't an assault on their recommendations at all. But I would say, one of my personal challenges that I will continue to seek growth in is finding ways to continue to empower people for their own benefit, for the benefit of the work groups that they support. And I'm a firm believer that I can't do it all, nor do I want to, but sometimes managers fall into that trap of wanting to direct everything and have their say in everything. And even though a manager's voice should be heard, it's so important to entrust those who are actually living and doing the work day in and day out. So anyway, I hope I answered all the questions, and thanks for listening to my video. I look forward to more good stuff in this class. It's totally stuff that's up my alley. I enjoy it a lot. So thank you very much. Bye.